Okay, so hello, welcome back to Austrian Coins and Banknotes, and today we are continuing on with the series I discontinued 6 years ago. So that's the Austrian coins after the First World War, but before the Second World War. So I've done the Krone coins, so the Austria, they continued to use the Krone issued by the Austro-Hungarians, but both of those currencies were separate. Well, with the banknotes, the Austrians issued German on both sides, and the Hungarians done the same with their own banknotes. So, in 1924, these were the coins that were in circulation, 100, 200 and 1000 krona, and they are a stabilization of the currency. So, in 1921, I believe that the value was about 2000 krona equals 1 Swiss francs. That probably decreased to roughly about 10,000 francs, so that's roughly the exchange rate. And in 1925, they issued new coins of 1 groschen, 2 groschen, and a 10 groschen. So these also, they issue coins of 50, 1 shilling, so 1 shilling is equivalent to 100 groschen. They issued a 5 groschen in 1931 to fill the gap in between these two denominations. They issued a 2 shilling in 1928. This is a silver coin. It remained a silver coin. And in 1934 they issued a 5 shilling. So those are all the coins. Now there are gold in 25 and 100 shillings, but those most likely were not issued for circulation because all countries pretty much went off the gold standard during the Great Depression, and gold was pretty much just a bullion coin at the time. It's really only for international trade, and a lot of countries only issued them in small amounts. Now the 1 shilling has the denomination on the back of the coin as well as the date. This one's 1927, so this is nearly 100 years old, and mintage for this one is 9,318,000. In this condition you'd be paying about $4 or $5. And the key date you want for this denomination is 1931 with 971,000. So that one you're probably paying at least $10 to $20 in this condition. And the most common one's 1925 with 30,465,000. All the other coins in this denomination in between those two mintages. So this side we just have the Austrian eagle with the name Österreich, which means Eastern Empire. It's the name for Austria. And we have the initials HZ for Heinrich Zitter, who was the engraver of both sides of this coin. The 2 groschen, this is also minted in bronze along with the 1 groschen, and you can see they've tried to use the same two, but slightly altered. So this just has 2 groschen, and as you can see it doesn't have the date on this side. It's not milled, and this side we have Österreich, we have the Austrian cross, and this one was engraved by Philip Hausler, and this one's dated 1930. So the 1930 mintage 5,709,000. So this one probably about $5. The lowest mintage is 1934 with 812,000. So that one you'll be paying quite a bit more for that. The most common one is also the first year, 1925, with 29,892,000. So pretty simple coins. Okay, the 5 groschen, this is 3 grams of 70 millimeters of copper nickel. So it's one of the 3 copper nickel coins that they used. And it is plain, no milling. The denomination on this side, 5 groschen, so 1/20 of a shilling. This side we also have the cross. Österreich, and the date 1932. So this one is mintage of 3,727,000. In this condition, probably about $5. Lowest mintage is 1938 with 876,000, but most of those probably were never issued for circulation because the Germans took over Austria in 1938 and replaced the currency with the Reichsmark. And the most common date is 1931 with 17,389,000. So that should be the cheapest you're going to get. So really, you do have some low mints in this coin series. Okay, the next coin has a deviation in the design. So this one has plants around it. So here's the 1000, here's the 10 groschen. So they kept the design the same because it makes the exchange a lot easier. And the flowers on these are Gentian and Edelweiss flowers. So Edelweiss does feature prominently on a lot of Austrian coins and banknotes. And we have the date 1925. And on this side, we have a girl from Tyrol, which is a region or a state in Austria. And we have Republic Österreich. So this is the first coin that has Republic on it, probably because the Flanders is actually a lot bigger. So this one is 4.5 grams, 22.05 millimeters in diameter. And there's only 3 dates for this coin. So the 1925 is the most common with 66,199,000. 1928 with about 11.5 million. 1929 with 12 million. And no more coins were minted, but these continued to circulate up until 1939. 38, 39, whatever. Okay, the next denomination I have is the 50 groschen. Now, there were 2 other coins issued before this one was issued. There's the 1924 26 3 gram 90 millimeter 64% silver half shilling, and that one was removed from circulation, demonetized roughly in 1932. Austria has a habit, when they change the coin designs, they just remove and demonetize them. Okay, then in 1934 they issued the first copper nickel coin. So the copper nickel coins are all 24 millimeters and 5.5 grams, and that one was also demonetized. And they removed that because it looked like the 1 shilling, so people were getting confused. And with only 1 millimeter difference in diameter, it does look pretty close to it. And then they issued this coin, which is a bit different. It has a large 50 on this side, and this is issued in 1935 and 36, so there were no more coins issued after that date. So for the half shilling, most common is 1925-26. The key date is 1924, which seems to be specimen. The 1934, 8.2 million, that's pretty common. And this one, 1935 is 12.635 million, so you'd be paying probably about $10 in this condition. 1936, 1.2 million, that's the key date you want for that. And I have never seen any for sale. So either that was never released for circulation, or a few of them were, and they're pretty scarce. Actually, on Cats there's one that sold for $24 in really low grade. Okay, so that's the 50 groschen. And these ones are, or at least this version, is not milled at all. Okay, the next coin we have is the 1 shilling. So this is the silver version. So the 1924 was 26 millimeters, 7 grams and 80% silver. This one here was issued 1925, and it's 25 millimeters, so they reduced the size. It's 6 grams and 64% silver. Then in 1934 they issued a 7 gram 26 millimeter copper nickel coin to replace the actual silver. So on this side we have the Austrian coat of arms, or Austrian shield. So this just has the flag, red, white, red. And so initially these coins were issued and this comes from Numistar at 90.92 shillings, so 92 groschen. And these were hoarded for the high silver content. So all these silver coins, doesn't matter where you issue them, could be Sweden, could be Germany, could even be in Switzerland. They never have the full silver content of the denomination because there's other costs related to actually minting of these coins. And this one here only has 60 groschen of silver in the actual coin, so it's not really a full shilling of silver. And this one was issued also in other dates. So this one is dated 1925, first year of issue. And then we have 1926, and the key date you want is 1932 with 700,000. This one has a mintage of 38,200,000, a little bit over that. And the current bullion value of 20 after 12 2025 is $14.50. So it's quite a lot of money. And this is quite a nice design coin. The engraver is Heinrich Zitter. This has the Parliament in Vienna, so the Parliament House building. We have statues at the front. This side just has the denomination, and I'm not too sure what plants they are, but it's probably an indigenous plant of Austria. Okay, so the next denomination we have, and these are the only two I have, 2 shillings. So I purchased these when silver price is actually quite low. So all Austrian 2 shilling coins are 1 year issues, and they're all commemorative, but they all circulated, so it is like the current American $quarter. So currently since 1999 they issue like, I think it's 4 or 5 different quarters every year in a single year issue. So this one has the coat of arms of all the different states of Austria, and this is a standard design. We have Republic Österreich, and on the other side we have it representing whatever it does. So this 1929 commemorates Fyodor Bielorte, and it has 1929 to 1939. Gabe, so that represents his birth, and here's a portrait of him with a large fluffy beard like a cloud. And this coin has a mintage of 2 million, so it's one of the high minted 1928 29 should I say 2 shilling coins. 1928 is the highest minted, and then after this these coins are actually just gap fillers to replace those that are removed from circulation. And this one here is 1930, and this celebrates Walter von der Vogelweide, and our 700th anniversary of his death, so that's what that celebrates. And what we have, he has a sword. We have, let me get my pencil. We have birds, probably doves of peace. We have a harp, and he's reading from a manuscript. So here's his hands. No idea what this is. Looks a bit suspicious. Looks like a snake, actually. And then we have the coat of arms. It's probably from the town where he comes from. And this one is in Gothic script, so that's actually quite a nice script. I really like that. It's a pity that they don't use it much anymore because of what happened during the Second World War. Anyway, this one is a mintage of 500,000, and the bullion value of these coins now is $29. I think I bought these when they were about 16, and currently you're probably going to buy these for probably no less than $50. So anyway, so that's basically it. The Austrian coins that were in circulation from 1925 to 1938, so they didn't last long. And the exchange rate of these coins was 1.5 shillings, equivalent to 1 Reichsmark. And then after the Second World War, they reissued the shilling, but this is a different one. That is equivalent to the Reichsmark, and they had different coins, although they did reuse the actual banknotes that were issued beforehand for a different print run. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and I hope you like these type of coins. Thank you and goodbye.